Hello and welcome to the fifth commitment of our conscious leadership framework, which is about eliminating gossip. In a little bit, I will explain what we mean by gossip specifically. And for now, let's look at the commitment below the line and above the line. So the commitment above the line looks like and sounds like this. I commit to ending gossip. I commit to talking directly to people with whom I have a concern with, and encouraging others to talk directly to people to whom they have an issue or concern with. So I'll talk directly and share and express my feelings directly to the person that I have a concern or issue with, and I encourage others to do the same. That's the commitment above the line. The commitment below the line is I commit to saying things about people that I would not or will not directly say to them. I commit to talking about people in ways I would not if they were in the room. So in other words, I say things that I would not want them to hear, which is really the key definition of gossip. I am speaking in a way about someone that I would not speak directly to them about. Another key piece to recognize gossip is it has an ill intent. It has sort of a negative feeling to it. It's about shaming, blaming, or guilting someone. It's not coming from a place of encouragement or love. It's coming from a place of fear and putting someone down. And what is really important to speak into is that both the speaker as well as the listener are responsible for eliminating gossip or continuing gossip, right? We have a choice to listen to gossip as well. We have a choice to speak in ill ways about others as well. So both the speaker and the listener are responsible for this dynamic to happen. And then there's an interesting question to ask ourselves is, why do we as humans gossip? It's been around society for very long, but why do we actually do it? So we have here 8 reasons defined as to why we gossip. The first one is to pay back. So we feel like the other person deserves it in some way. So we use gossip as a payback towards maybe some things they've said or done to us, and we don't feel good about that. So instead of going directly to them, we use gossip as a form of payback. The second piece as to why we gossip is to make others wrong, to make them less than me or more than me. But often it's about making them less, so making them smaller, making them wrong, so that I don't have to feel my own insecurity about my own self. Yeah, so I make myself bigger or more important or better in some way. And in the unconscious way that I do it is making them wrong, making them smaller, or making them worse than me. Yeah, so all of these things are often unconscious. The third piece of why do we gossip is to gain validation, whether that's validation from other people or from our own selves. We in some way want to be validated. We want to be heard and seen. And the way we have learned to be heard and seen is to gossip about someone else. So again, this has to do with a level of insecurity. Maybe there's some self-worth at play here. We don't feel fully validated in our own self. So what do? We gossip. Another reason why we gossip is to control others. If we have control over others, some people think or believe that they have more control than also over themselves or the situation. So if we feel out of control in a certain way, gossip can be used as a way to gain control again. Of course, it's not real control. It's not real power or empowerment. It's a pseudo version of that, but that's the way we feel when we gossip. We feel like we are in control in some way. In some way, we might feel like we have the power back or back to us. Another reason why we gossip is to get attention. So it's very similar to the point 3 is to gain validation. This really one has to do with getting attention. So if we don't feel like we're being seen or heard, we get attention. So we get seen and heard by maybe people that we love or care about. Another way or a reason that we gossip is to divert attention. So you see children sometimes do this when they maybe gets said to them like, hey, don't do that or don't do this. They say, oh, look at this person is also doing that. So we divert attention to not have to own up or deal with certain parts of our own self. And we use gossip as a form of doing that. The 7th reason why we use gossip is to avoid conflict So instead of speaking directly to the person and speaking directly to how we feel and think about something, we avoid conflict and we avoid expressing our authentic emotions, all on behalf of not really revealing our true self from a place of fear of rejection, a fear of getting a certain response back that we might be afraid of, or fear of maybe we don't feel like we can bring this to someone's awareness in a healthy, loving way. So emotional maturity has a big role to play, and this is a reason why we gossip, because we might feel stuck in our expression in some way. And then the 8th reason why we gossip is to create pseudo connections. So sometimes we want to connect with people and we use gossip as a way to connect, even though it's not real connection, of course, because it's not clean, and it's not on behalf of the good of oneself and others, so to speak, but it is a form of connecting with someone or trying to connect with someone. So these are the reasons why we gossip. So you might see yourself, or you might see yourself doing some of these elements, or maybe a combination of 1, 2, or 3, or maybe you see yourself doing all of them in certain different contexts or situations. And again, the trait of conscious leadership is to really recognize this and be honest with ourselves about this, so that we can really be honest with ourselves about this, and then also really take responsibility in not doing this, and really coming from a place of love instead of fear when we interact and relate with other people and ourselves. And again, the 2 ways that we've defined in doing that is, again, to reveal. So we come back to the last commitment, which was commitment 4, which was about revealing ourselves. Yeah, radical responsibility, curiosity, but then also radical candor. So revealing ourselves, being honest with ourselves. So revealing what we actually feel has a lot to do with not gossiping. Can we actually go to the person directly and speak and reveal the truth, our truth of the situation, the perception, maybe how they made us feel, or anything that might be here. And then for the listener is to also set boundaries. So if we listen and we hear other people speaking in particular ways about other people, the way we can work with that in a healthy way is to set boundaries around it. Hey, I really don't like it when you speak about this person to me. Can you speak directly to them, or can you speak directly to them and address your issue with them directly, or just don't respond to the gossiping. Yeah, so you can also set a boundary in a more quiet way, which is to, I hear you, but not necessarily go into the story about it. And then you're, in a certain way, you're stopping the gossip, because that person is most likely to not really come to you anymore, because they're not really getting the juice that they're after, because they're probably looking for one of these 8 things as to why they gossip. And if you're not giving them either the validation or the attention, or go along with the story with them, and you're actually speaking very clearly, I really don't like this kind of gossip, or this way of communicating about other people, then you're not giving them the juice that they're after. So there's nothing for them to gain in that anymore. And with all of this, it's very important that the way where you come from in your energy with expressing this is probably the most important thing, in terms of, is it clean? Is it loving? Is it really on behalf of the good for them and for all in the situation? So short piece on gossip here. Have fun, enjoy, and really write down for yourself. Be honest with yourself and write down for yourself, where is this happening in your life? Where might you be gossiping? And which of the one of the 8 strategies, or maybe you can see 2 or 3 that you often use. And what can that tell you about yourself? So really get curious. How can you work with this information to really gain more insight and understanding of yourself? Why am I gossiping? Why am I actually doing that? Maybe I do feel like I want to control the situation. Oh, why do I want to do that? And so really get curious. What is it on behalf of? What's really driving this at the deepest core? And we can also support you in that in the coaching. Yeah, so reach out to us if you have any specific questions about this, or come into the group calls and ask specific questions around this, as this sometimes requires, we need to explore the deeper layers that are at play here. But first, do your own homework and really write down for yourself as much as data that you can see of yourself as to why this is happening for you and why it might keep continuing on in your life. Have fun. Thank you, and see you in the next one.